welcome back. Let me see if I can bring this up a smidgy. There we go. Welcome back. I have been gone for a little bit because work has been a little crazy, but today I am bringing you my Stephen King book collection. I own all of his books except for I think 10 of them, which is pretty impressive. I have gotten most of them at a used bookstore. I also used to volunteer at the library. I think I've only bought like 2 or 3 brand new. I also am not collecting the Dark Tower series because I'm not interested in reading that one. I did used to own the whole Dark Tower series, but I tried to read the first book. I just couldn't get into it, so I just gave it to one of my friends. I'm going to go through my collection. I do shelve my books by publication order, so the ones I'm going to talk about first are obviously his older books, and then to the new ones, and then the short story collections, which he has quite a few of those as well. And so here we go. Also, if you hear snoring, my cat Barbie is snoring because she is sleeping pretty deeply. I will insert a clip here. Alright, now back to the books. So the first one I have is Salem's Lot. I don't own Carrie, but I did read Carrie, and I am currently reading them in publication order, except for I did skip ahead and start the new book. Sorry. But Salem's Lot is the first one. And the next one is The Shining. This is an original hardcover first print book club edition, so it doesn't even have an ISBN, which is kind of cool. I got it when I worked at the library, or volunteered at the library. I didn't work. And then this one's an out of print book, which is the Bachman books, which has Rage, The Long Walk, Road Work, and The Running Man. This one's not in print anymore with Rage in it. So it got out of print because the story Rage includes like school shootings, and they were thinking that caused people to start doing school shootings. So they had to stop publishing it with it in there. So thank you, used bookstore, for having this. Then I have this little chunky guy, a Stand, which is the complete and uncut edition. This one I actually got when I volunteered at the library, and it still had the cellophane on it. Someone had donated it, never read it. It's like brand new. The next one is actually The Dead Zone, which the writing's not too small. This shouldn't take us too long to read eventually. So I have Firestarter, Pet Cemetery, which I started reading. So I was doing it with the Constantly Reading Goodreads group, but since I work so much, it was hard for me to like just finish reading it. But eventually, I only have a few books in between. I have The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. This is the first book in a duology, I believe. The Eyes of the Dragon, which I think is actually a fantasy book. I don't know if I'll like it, but it has dragons. And then I have Misery. And then the final one on the shelf is the Tommyknockers. It's a little chunky boy. Okay, let me put these back on my shelf and then I'll start the next round. Okay, I don't know if I moved or not. Probably did. Anyway, on my next I have It. I have The Dark Half, Gerald's Game, and then Dolores Claiborne. I have Rose Madder, which I really like this cover. Can we just take a sec for this cover? And then have the bind up of the Green Mile. I do eventually want to get like the little single ones, because that's the way I remember my dad actually reading them. So that's that one. Desperation I wish I had the one that goes along with this, the regulators, to go with it, because I heard the covers kind of match. Bag of Bones. And then the final book for the shelf is The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. So that is that for that shelf, and I'll be back for the next one. So this is the third shelf on the 4 shelves that he takes up. All right. So I have Dreamcatcher, which, and I have Cell, which the plain naked book is just so beautiful. The Duma Key, I cannot for the life of me get the stupid sticker off. Don't you hate it when stores put stickers on them? Well, here's Duma Key. And then I have Under the Dome, which this is the the UK edition. And then I have 11/22/63, which I still haven't watched the Hulu series. Then I have Doctor Sleep, which is a continuation of The Shining. Then I have Mr. Mercedes, which is the first book in the Bill Hodges trilogy. And I also have Revival. That's it for that shelf. I only have one more shelf. Okay, so I have the last 4 books I own of his. That is Finders Keepers, which is the second in the Bill Hodges trilogy. And then End of Watch, which is the last one of the trilogy. And then I have Sleeping Beauties, which he wrote with his son Owen. And then we have The Institute, which I have started, which is his newest release. And then now let's go on to short stories. Okay, so I own all of his short story collections except for 2, which I don't own his very first one, which is called Night Shift, which is really sad. But I do own different seasons. So the first one I have is 4 Past Midnight. And then the next one I have is Nightmares and Dreamscapes. And then the next one is Hearts in Atlantis. And then I have Everything's Eventual, which the cover is pretty interesting for this one. And this one I don't have a dust jacket for because I got it used, but it's Just After Sunset. Then I have Full Dark No Stars. And then the last one I have is The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, which I've read like a couple of stories out of this when it first came out from the library, and I really liked it, so I'm glad I got to purchase it. And that, my friends, is my Stephen King collection. I also own most of these on ebook as well, so I usually go back and forth between reading physical books and ebooks because it's easier for me to commute with my Kindle versus taking like it to work. So that is my collection. Let me know if you have any questions. I will leave my Goodreads and everything linked down below, and I will see you in my next video.